Hi everybody, welcome to day 2, week 2 of your foundations program. Like you notice when you look through the guide, this one is about being rooted and grounded. We were speaking about this on Tuesday. When everything else is changing around you, how sturdy can your trunk be? Your core, your glutes, how can they be the main focus, the star of the show when the arms start to move, when the legs start to move? And that's what we're going to continue to focus on today. So kind of similar moves, you're going to notice some tweaks to it, and I want you to notice those slight differences. We're going to go into a bird dog again, but it's going to be a little different. How can you notice different parts of your glutes, different parts of your core, your obliques turning on when we start to change the direction of the things around us? But while the things are changing, are you sturdy? Are you grounded? Are you rooted? Yeah? Okay, let's do it. We're going to start in all fours. So knees are on the floor, hands are on the floor. I'm starting with my hands underneath shoulders. You know this. And knees underneath the hips. You know that, right? We're not here resting, letting the core take a break. No, we're on. Back. Okay, so we're going to start with your right arm forward and left leg back. So press into your palms and your knees. Press into your left palm very hard. Press into your right knee very hard to lift the right arm forward. Now hover the left knee off. Squeeze from your glute to straighten out your leg. Heel in line with leg. Rib cage in. Long neck. Hold. Now from here, it looks like your bird dog, right? But instead of going in and out how we were doing before, can you push your right hand out to the right as your left leg gets pushed out to the left? Take up space. Now pull back in. Right hand comes back to center. Left leg comes back center. Think of your wrist and your ankle doing the movement. So you're pushing from the wrist and shoulder. You're pushing from the glute and ankle. Pull back in from the glute and ankle. Pull back in from your wrist and shoulder. Keep the rib cage locked. Oh, I gotta move a little bit. Stay with it. Keep going. Notice it. Push. Pull. Now, as you go out, you can keep going. As you go out, turn your wrist so that your palm is facing away from you. Act like you're pushing water. As you come back in, turn your wrist to look at you, palm at you, like you're pulling that water back in. And notice how your arm engages more. So you push the water away, you pull it back in. Continue. That leg is straight. The toes are pointing down to the floor. Push that water away. Pull it back in. Push. Pull. Push. Pull. Rib cage in. Belly button in. Long through the arm. Long through the leg. Push. Are you sinking into your right hip? Don't let that happen. Push with control. Pull with control. Can you go slower? Can you go slower? 10 more seconds. We'll drop in 3, 2, and drop it down. Shake it out. Wiggle out the wrist. Whatever you need to. Let's do the other side. Palms are down. Knee is down. Press into your, right palm, and press into your left knee. Lift your right palm off the floor. Lift your left knee off. Push from your right heel to straighten out your leg. Straighten your left arm. Squeeze up the glute. Lower back rounded. Long. Let's go. Push the water. Pull the water. From your glute, you push. Outer glute. Pull back in. Ooh, my shoulder is dying. Whew. Keep going. Pull back in. Push. Pull. Keep the leg high. Keep the glute tight. Find your control. I'm a little too close to this wall. Keep going. Don't go. Keep going without me. Find that control. Breathing. The rib cage is in. The glute is tight. Maybe you lower the leg a little bit if you find your back arching too much. 10 more seconds. Notice the outer glute, right? It's not the center of the glute anymore, like how we were doing it on Tuesday. We're pushing from the outer glute, pulling from the outer glute. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Okay, let's move along. So now that we're understanding the outer glute turning on, right? Come onto your hands, knees in line with hips. Hover your right knee off the floor. No, let's start with left. Hover the left knee off the floor. Straighten out the leg. Lower back, rounded, tuck it. Widen out the hands a little bit. Now we're gonna combine 2 moves together that we did last week. So last week you had that on Tuesday, you had that leg up and you were doing push-ups, right? We were keeping the glute active, we were keeping the rib cage in. Now you're gonna do a donkey kick at the same time. So as you're going down, leg is straight. As you're coming up, bring your knee into your chest by bending a little bit, getting a little further from your right knee. Then push and straighten as you drop. Bend the knee in as you straighten the elbows. Extend the knee as you bend the elbows. So there's always going to be one bending, one extending at the same exact time. Extend the knee, bend the elbows. Extend the elbows, bend the knee. Now the focus is not to do this. Can you look at me really quick? Woo! You're not really feeling your glute that much. Engage the glute to straighten the leg. Bend the knee to reset. Keep the glute active no matter what point you are in this. Try not to dump in the right hip. Maybe you widen out your hands. Keep the glute active. You're gonna still feel that glute on because we just engaged it. We just activated it with the bird dog. Slow. Controlled. Now notice, things are moving around the nucleus. Things are moving around your center. Is the core still engaged? Is the rib cage still in? Is the glute still active? 10 more seconds. We'll keep the legs straight, elbows bent. In 3, 2, straighten out, hold. Squeeze the glute. Keep squeezing. Now pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring the knee in, extend the arms, and drop it down. Wiggle out the wrist. Okay, so that move was just to teach you. Now we're going to combine things. We've isolated the glute. We've isolated those push-ups. Now can we do it together at the same time? Let's do the other side. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips. Let's do this. Tuck your toes under. All right, hover the right knee. Straighten it out by squeezing the glute. Lift from your glute. Straighten out the leg. Widen out your hands. Bend into your elbows. Keep the legs straight. Bend the knee in. Slowly with control, keep your glute tight the whole way in. Push from your tight glute to drop down. Chest to the floor. Slowly back up. Keep the glute active. Check in with your hips. Are you sinking anywhere? Can you keep your hips high to the ceiling? You might feel a little more weight in your right hand or right arm. That's okay. Just try to even yourself out a little bit. Just noticing. Keep that right glute active even as the knee comes in. Even more as you kick out. Now for this one, it's not so much of a donkey kick. It's more of you actually trying to straighten your leg out. But you're doing it from your glute. So kick, straighten the leg from the glute. Bring it back in. Light bend. Kick from the glute. Back in. Kick from the glute. Back in, 10 more seconds. We'll stay down with the elbows straight with the leg. That's in 3, 2, straighten out the leg, hold. Pulse the leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, everything back in. Wiggle it out, good job. Okay, so now we know what it feels for the glute to be on, right? And for the wrist to hurt. So let's lay down on our right hip. Your legs swing out forward in front of you. Out to in front of you, yeah. And let's lay on the hip. Now legs are straight, toes are flexed towards us, elbow is underneath the shoulder. You're pulling the side of your body off the floor. So we're not sinking down here, hanging out, we're up, tall. So straightening out your legs, elbow in line with your shoulders. Start to bend both knees, not by pulling from your hips. Can I show you something really quick? Look, this is bending from your hips. Can you keep this straight? Bend from the knees. So keep your hand on your pelvis. Bend from your knees. It will bend a little bit, but you're not starting from here. Bend from the knees, bend from the knees, bend from the knees. Good, okay. Now find your hip, kind of wiggle yourself out. I gotta find my hip. Okay, good. All right, now heels stay together. You're going to push from your outer glute to open up like a clam. Then slowly come back down. Now you're gonna feel this outer glute turn on right here. You're gonna push out from the glute, lower down from the glute. Rib cage, can you check in on it? Keep it tight. Maybe you take your left hand and bring it behind your ear to teach you to stay high. We're not shutting down and looking at the floor. We're tall and long and high. Coming in with control, slowly pushing from the outer glute. Yeah, my shoulders are still burning. Slowly push. Now let's start to think about this. Why are we doing this? We want to activate the outer glute. Can we think of the outer glute? Can we push from the outer glute? Now, I don't feel these too much usually, but it's just more of an activation, I think, than really, really feeling it. But maybe try to find it more. Maybe you pull your knees in a little bit more, round the back a little bit more. See what you can do to find it more. Your body is your body. Some people, they'll be out here doing it and they feel it more. Do I? No. Or maybe you can bring it in more and adjust yourself. Keep going. I'm just trying to find my body. Your body is not my body. But this is the form. This is what we're looking for. Knowing what you're looking for, can you find it in your body? Not just following along what you see, but what you feel. Okay. In about 10 seconds, you're going to straighten your legs out. That's in 3, 2, straighten out the legs. Find your hip again. Now, keeping your toes flexed towards your face, can you lift from the hip? The ankle follows to the ceiling. Slowly come back down. Lift from the hip. Slowly back down. Now, can you bring your left toes at the same line as your right ankle? So you're going to have that left leg a little behind the right and lift from the hip. Slowly back down. Lift from the hip. Slowly back down. Keep that left foot in line with your right ankle. Slowly up. Back down. Rib cage in. From the glutes. Find your control. It's not about how high you go. Are you lifting from where you need to lift? Y'all, my neck is cramping up. Are you dying right now? What's happening? Keep going without me. It's not about me, it's about you. Lift. You have 10 more seconds. We're going to stay up. There it is. Ooh, I found mine. Did you find yours? Don't lose it. Ooh, I found it. Okay, don't stop. Don't stop, Hannah. You have 3. Stay at the top in 2. 1. Stay at the top. Hold. Hold. And release. Okay, let's do clams on the other side. So we're going to lay on the left hip. You have your elbow down. Legs are straight to start. Pull your shoulders back, nice and long through the neck. Pull your chest, neck back. Literally, pull it back. Okay, not moving from the hips. Bend from the knees. Once those knees are at a 90-degree angle, you have your heels together. Let's clam it out. From your outer right glute, push. Slowly come back in. Push from the outer glute. Come back in. Good. Now find where you need to be. I need to adjust. Maybe you need to adjust. Find it. Maybe your legs need to go a little further out. When you do that, do you feel your glute more? For me, I don't. So I'm going to come back in again. Maybe you put that right palm to the floor, and that support from the floor helps you stabilize a little bit more. But remember, we don't want to put too much weight over here. We want to keep the weight in the glute. Ooh, I'm feeling this one. You know what I noticed that I didn't tell you before? It might help you. Can you press more into your left hip? And that kind of grounds you more. And that way you're able to push that right glute a little bit more. Whew. Press your heels together. They keep touching. From the glutes. Ten more seconds. Legs will go straight. In 3, 2, legs go straight out. Find your hip. Find where your body needs to be. Flex your toes towards your face. Pull your shoulders back, long neck. Rib cage in. Lift. Now remember, we want these right toes in line with the left ankle. So bring that leg back a little bit. Lift from the hip. And back down. I'm going to shut up for a little bit because I really want to find my glute. I hope you're finding it too. From the hip, from the hip, from the hip. The ankle follows. The knee follows. Lift from your hip. Maybe you press into your left hip a little bit more. Keep your rib cage in. Adjust where you need to. find it. Come on. Ooh. Okay, 10 more seconds. We're going to stay up. In 5, 4, you're at the top. In 3, 2, stay at the top. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Ooh. Okay, come on up. Now that we know how to get the outer glute, just the understanding of, okay, this is where my outer glute is. All right. So now let's get into fire hydrants. You have your hands on the floor, knees in line with your hips. I'm gonna pick this wedgie. Okay, now let me show you my left glute first because we just did the right. Okay, hands are underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Same concept, tuck your toes under. Round your lower back, press into your palms and your right knee so you can hover your left knee off. Squeeze from your glute to lift your leg up towards the ceiling. Hold. Now rotate your knee out to the left side of the room. Hold. Try not to push too much weight and open up to the side like this. We don't want to be here. You want both of your hips to look at the floor. Now I'm going to drop my right knee down to the floor, lower with control, lift from the hip, the knee will follow. Lower, lift from the hip, lower, lift from the hip. Now same concept. Remember how we were getting our toe in line with the ankle when we were lifting that leg? Can you get your left knee a little bit behind your right knee when you lift it? Now you'll notice I just dropped down onto my right elbow. That's gonna help stabilize me a little bit. So if you feel like up here is just not for you, maybe you drop down onto your right elbow and press into your left palm. Just try not to put too much weight into your right glute. Actually, it's putting too much weight into the glute. I gotta be honest with you. Don't do that. Don't take away from the left glute. Keep it in the left glute. Now, if you do start to feel your right glute loading up, that's normal because you're putting all the rest of your weight into that standing leg. Like all your upper body is going into that right glute. But can you focus on pushing from your left glute to lift? Lowering from that left glute. Push from the glute. Lower from the glute. Push. Lower. Is your back arching? What can you fix? I'm going to drop my head. Maybe I still feel it. I don't know. Check in with yourself. Nope, I don't feel my glute anymore. Keep going as you're adjusting. Every second is opportunity to see where you can find that glute on. Okay, so me bringing my right hand forward a little bit in front of my left, actually, it kind of helped me stabilize myself, but it's not putting too much weight into my right leg, which is good. I still have a lot of weight into my left palm. That's going to keep that weight into the left glute. Woo. Stay with it. Stay with it. Your right oblique is going to turn on a little bit too. Do you see me shaking? This is good. Ten more seconds. 3, stay at the top, and 2, and 1. Stay at the top, and release. Okay, let's do the other side. Oh my God, my booty is working. It sucks when you're doing it, but after you're like, oh my gosh, yeah. Okay. Knees in line with hips, hands in line with shoulders, tuck your toes under. Hover your right knee. Lift your heel up by squeezing your glute. Teach yourself that this is how high we want to be. Rotate the knee out. This is where we want to end. Okay, bring the knee down behind the right knee. Push from the glute. Lower down with control. It's almost like you're trying to get your right knee to touch your ankle. And push back out. Right knee to left ankle. Push. From the glute. I'm putting too much weight in my left hip. I had to check in with myself. What do you need to do? Are you pushing your stomach out? For this one, I can actually drop onto my left elbow and still feel it in my right glute, but it's because I'm putting so much pressure in my right palm. So make sure you keep dumping weight into your right palm. That way the left side of your body doesn't take on too much. Lengthen your neck, Hannah. Rib cage in. From the glute. I'm dumping. I gotta get back on my hand. Because I was dumping, I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna get back on my hand. Okay, maybe I bring my left hand forward a little bit. Yeah, that one's good. That was my hip, if you heard that. 10 more seconds. Stay with it. You're good. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it. High. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Grab a sip of water. Wow, my booty, she's feeling it. Keeping the glute in mind, we're kind of done with outer glute specifically. Let's work the whole glute. So right now we're gonna get center glute and outer glute at the same time. So remember, center glute, I'm gonna show you my butt. Center glute, how do I activate here? Outer glute, how do I activate here? What does this feel like? What does this feel like? So we're gonna start in all fours. Leg is gonna go straight. So first start with hands underneath shoulders, both knees in line with hips. Hover your left knee off the floor. Straighten it out by kicking a heavy box away from you. Drop it down to the floor. Re-round your lower back. Rib cage in. Okay, now lift the left leg up by squeezing your glute. Point your toes away from you. Even out your hips. You don't have one hip higher than the other. They're both high. Now pulling that leg away from you, like literally someone is taking your ankle and yanking you away. Pull it out. Feel that pulling out of your hip. Keep the leg high. Pretend there is a dime. Stay where you are, please. I'm just gonna show you. There's a little dime by your feet and you're going to avoid the dime. So this is your foot. You're going around the dime, but a dime is nothing, right? It's this small. So with my foot here, stay where you are. Look at me. I'm gonna avoid a dime by going around the dime. It is so small. Avoid the dime. Now notice center glute, outer glute, center glute, outer glute. Keep talking to it, to them. Keep the leg high. Rib cage in. You're moving from your glute. You keep pulling your leg out of your body. Keep pulling the leg out of your body. Keep weight in your left palm. Keep your rib cage in. From the glute circles. The ankle will follow. The knee will follow. Circle from your glutes. Go the opposite direction. Circle from your glutes. Avoid a dime. 10 seconds. You drop the leg in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, that one I really feel. So good. Okay, other side. Tuck your toes under, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Hover your right knee off the floor. Squeeze from your glute to straighten out your leg. Drop the toes to the floor. Rib cage in, lower back rounded. Pull your hips and your belly button to the ceiling. Take your right toes off the floor by squeezing your glute. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Point your toes away from you. Even out your weight. Your hands, your knee that's left behind, push away with it. Lift the leg up 1 more inch. Avoid a circle, avoid a dime with the glute. Ooh, keep pulling your leg out of your body. Ooh, this is so good for the hip and the glute and your core. Wowzers. Oh, I'm dumping so much into my right hand. Oh, what are you doing? Check in. From the glute, from the glute, from the glute. Nothing else but the glute. Stay with the glute. Rib cage in. Other direction. Let's go. Reverse it. Reverse it. Reverse it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh! Wow! I love it. I love it. I love when I feel my butt just go on fire. Okay, we got one more move. You ready? Grab a sip of water. Do you remember how on Tuesday we were in a plank and we were doing leg lifts, right? We were like this. We were squeezing the glute to lift the leg. Okay, so now we're going to add everything. So, the concept of this week, how can we stay rooted when things are moving around us? Now everything's going to move around us. How can the glutes stay active? How can the core stay engaged? So when we're in that plank, we're going to raise the right arm, bring it down. Raise the left arm, bring it down. Lift the leg by squeezing the glute, lower it back down. Lift the other leg by squeezing the glute, lower back down. Rib cage, stay sucked in. Lower back, rounded. Remember, we're thinking ice cream scooping towards the face. Scoop that ice cream towards the face. Even when you're looking at the floor, you're scooping. Yeah? This is the last move. Let's do it. Enough learning for today. We're going to bring all this together on Saturday, and it's going to be a crazy one. Okay, so hands underneath the shoulders. Start with the knees underneath the hips. Hover your right knee. Squeeze from your glute to straighten your leg out. Drop it to the floor. Hover your left knee. Straighten it out. Match your left. Okay, lower back, not arching, rounded, lift higher, hold. Press into everything that's left behind, left palm and toes, right arm lifts. Lower it back down. Left arm lifts. Lower it back down from the glute. Ooh. Go ahead, from the glute. Back down from the right glute. Back down, right arm up. Try not to shift your weight. I don't want to see this. What are you doing? Nothing. That's so mean. But for real, aware. Keep going. Go slower than me. Keep going. You're not done. Let's go. 20 seconds left, okay? You got it. Let's go. 15. Keep your core engaged. Your thighs tight. Your glutes tight. Press away from the floor. 10 seconds. Don't speed it up. 3, 2, 1. We're done. Yay! Okay, can you go out into a straddle? Legs are forward in front of you. Drop over to the right side. Lower it down. Fall into it. Such good work today. Good job, y'all. Lift up a little bit. Twist and drop onto your right leg. Okay, so that's what this week was about. Staying grounded, staying rooted, even when things around us are moving. Bring that left arm over. Getting a nice stretch in the oblique, the side of your body, the inside of your right leg. Slowly come up, switch it over to the left. Fold forward. How are you feeling? Are you starting to notice your body more? What it feels like to be in it? How to command it? How when you say, hey, glute, you're on, it says, bet. We're on. We're moving. Lift up a little bit, fold a little bit more, twist a little bit more to the left leg. Raise the right arm up and over. Feel that stretch on the right side of your body. Still in that left leg, the inside of your leg, the back of your leg. Radiating down the entire side of your body. Slowly coming up and fold forward. I needed this. Okay, y'all, I'll see you on Saturday. You just need your mat. Maybe bring your book. Haven't decided yet if we're going to use it or not. Because we haven't started standing up yet and doing things standing. That's for week 3. Week 3, we actually start to stand up and do things off the floor. So get ready for that. I'm going to drop one elbow down, then the other elbow down. And then just keep going back and forth. I'll see y'all in the chat. Whatever questions you have about this week, let's talk about it before Saturday. How are your journal entries going? What came up for you this week? Can you keep that in mind so that we can share on Saturday the things that have come up this week? Because you'll be surprised. We're moving the same way. Some things might come up that we all can relate to. It'd be really great if we can be transparent, and if you feel safe enough, just sharing that with us. And someone else might be like, oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. I just was scared to say something. and to be vulnerable. So I would love if you guys can share what you're going through and what came up, good or bad. I want to hear it all. We want to hear it all and help grow, help support each other, be there for each other. Straighten out the arms. Press forward a little bit more. Ooh. Oh my gosh, the back of my legs. Thank y'all. Drink lots of water. And I will see you on Saturday. Bye. Oh yeah. Get deeper. Get deeper.